Horses and bacteria arrived with a new language, Spanish. A new religion ruled by a Catholic punishing and threatening God. The objective was clear and determined: wealth, value, raw material, the reward, the treasure, and the end of the historical adventure: gold and silver. The treasures of the land, so well preserved by the indigenous people, were lauded and tortured over the years. Meanwhile, new policies were formed through weapons, violence, and humiliation. A tax regime that forced them to pay a tax on their own land, a direct disposition which simply meant losing the land and being handed over to the colonist. The new religion was imposed through what was called the encomienda, which meant handing over a group of Indians to a Spaniard, so that he could protect, educate, and evangelize them. If you will not do it or put it maliciously into it, I certify to you that with the help of God, I will enter powerfully against you, and I will make war on all sides and in the way that I can, and I will subject you to the yoke and obedience of the Church and from His Majesty, and I will take your wives and children and make them slaves. As such, I will sell them, and I will dispose of them as His Majesty will command. In 1545, the Potosi Hill, which means in Quechua thunder, busting, exploding, was discovered. The magnitude of wealth it contained was unthinkable. It was an immensity 5,000 meters above sea level, where the deepest pain of our continent was experienced. Enslaving working conditions and lack of hygiene ended the lives of millions of Bolivian miners. Today, only graves, churches, and Rage Palace remain, and a little thin, with luck. And poverty descends from history. We see human beings, tired, sleeping, angry and powerless, trying to breathe underwater. They are silent as they destroy their land. They feel passive witnesses to a history that repeats itself over and over again. A frustrated acceptance is felt in the dialogues of longings for a better world. There is something we lack, education, and something we have too much, desire. (2020) South America. The exploitation of natural resources is a practice that occurs through different ways and refers in particular to the activities of extraction and processing by humans of the raw material available in nature, usually causing irreversible damage to ecosystems and local communities. In 2012, I took a trip through South America where I spoke with different activists related to the environmental issue. Hipólito Oliva from Peru is one of them.
Otros países también vienen teniendo este mismo problema. Sabemos del Ecuador, sabemos de los mismos colombianos, ¿no? Que las mineras vienen contaminando. Si hay un proceso de acumulación, de explotación de los recursos, debería generar desarrollo y bienestar para la población de esas zonas, pero al contrario, no solamente crecimiento económico, porque a veces se habla de crecimiento económico entre comillas para la población, porque ese es un manejo informativo de parte de los medios de comunicación. De ahí la necesidad de articular, de integrar a digamos, a las poblaciones en la defensa de la ecología, el medio ambiente, la defensa del agua, que en estos últimos tiempos...
Mi nombre es Juan Félix Fernández Maldonado, soy militante del movimiento al socialismo, el MAS, el instrumento político por la soberanía de los pueblos, respetando su autonomía. Por eso es que la Constitución también habla de la autonomía indígena. O sea, el Estado les permite que ellos ejerzan su justicia, su forma política de organizar, su forma jurídica de llevar las cosas en sus comunidades, pero que somos a la vez diversos, no podemos ser iguales todos. Eso es, digamos, Bolivia. Bolivia es el reconocimiento de la diversidad, que hay oreos, hay aymaras, quechuas, tupi-guaraníes, mocetenes, o sea, esa gran diversidad hoy día es reconocida por la ley, por la Constitución política del Estado.
Yo soy Ernesto Rueda, hijo de don José Domingo Rueda. Y realmente lo más triste es el saqueo, ¿no es cierto?, del cobre y de todos los recursos naturales de nuestros hermanos, de nuestro pueblo, hermano pueblo chileno, todo para exportarle por la nada prácticamente la plusvalía, la mano de obra y los recursos naturales hacia el poderoso, para que de esa forma Estados Unidos pueda hoy día gastar por cada segundo $1.500.000.
Debemos implementar las políticas necesarias por el reconocimiento y eviten. Es el siglo de la batalla por el reconocimiento universal de los derechos de la madre tierra.
I sing to the pain, I sing to the wound, I sing to the water around me, when I float, when I swim in that clean water. But the rest pays, and pays with illness, pays with deterioration, pays with guilt, pays with sadness, pays with helplessness, pays with a broken heart, pays with his work, which is unpaid, pays the nature, pays the river. The river is no longer clean. The culture that matters is from others. The global culture. It is too late. Everything has been lost. The villages are no longer. The people are no longer. They are already dead. Now we are, and we must adapt. Adapt to the forces of globalization. Because we live in society, and society asks for wealth, asks for raw materials that must come from sacred places, sold, repentant, cored and expropriated of themselves, because they are no longer valid. If my poetry were heard, I would say no. Please don't. Companies of the future come no more. Your money doesn't help me. Your money corrupts me. Other riches are cultural, so they steal your soul. But I don't want to be like you. Don't sell my country. Don't sell my culture. Don't sell my soul. Don't sell my voice. The people of the Andean base their philosophy on the understanding and description of the cosmos, in which everything is energy. A transparent and translucent lagoon where everything is seen and connected. The Kai Pacha, which means time and space, is the terrestrial world on the middle of a vertical form. The Hanan Pacha is the upper world, and the Uku Pacha the underworld. These three worlds are connected through doors which are openings in the earth's crust, like volcanoes, caves, and deep springs. Janapai, or solidarity, is the rivet in Janapakui, or the brotherhood of those who love each other. The principle of reciprocity, giving help and receiving help. I give you, you give me, is the entire Andern structure. Times flow from the inside out, but returns in permanent cycles. According to the general law of movement and time, life is always being. There is no static being. There cannot be something without movement, without time. When the self disappears, you become part of the whole, creating a naturalization of the human being. They are me and I am them.
Hermanas y hermanos, estamos viviendo en una sociedad donde todo se globaliza y hegemoniza y donde las identidades culturales parecen ser de sabios del pasado que todos quieren ignorar. Las culturas milenarias, ancestrales, son marginadas en los procesos económicos y políticos y por lo mismo su fuerza, energía cultural y espiritual es despreciada. Debemos recuperar los conocimientos y códigos de las culturas milenarias en el mundo para fortalecer la conciencia de las personas y las sociedades sobre la madre tierra.
Fleas dream of buying themselves a dog, and nobody's dream of escaping poverty. That one magical day, good luck will suddenly rain down on them, will rain down in buckets. But good luck doesn't even fall in a fine drizzle, no matter how hard the nobodies summit, even if their left hand is tickling, or if they begin the new day with their right foot, or start the new year with a change of brooms. The nobodies, nobody's children, owners of nothing, the nobodies, the no ones, the nobodied, running like rabbits, dying through life, screwed every which way, who don't speak languages but dialects, who don't have religions but superstitions, who don't create art but handcrafts, who don't have culture but folklore, who are not human beings but human resources, who do not have names but numbers, who do not appear in the history of the world but in the police blotter of the local paper. The nobodies, who are not worth the bullet that kills them. Eduardo Galeano.